Welcome to Make Something with me, David Picciuto, and today we're going to build this writing desk with simple joinery. Check it. I want to make a writing desk for my front porch where I can take my laptop outside and work on nice days. Dan and I went to KenCraft. We picked up some beautiful hickory and walnut. I've already glued them up, planed them down, and cut them to size. Basically, we have a little box here. We're going to do some rabbet joinery. So in here, I'm going to remove the material here, 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 and here, and that'll give it a little bit more surface area when it comes time to glue it up. We have a 3/4 inch straight bit mounted in the router table, and I'm going to do it in multiple passes just to take it easy on the router. We have our rabbets cut. There are a couple different ways you could do that. You could use a dado stack at the table saw. You could also use a handheld router and a straight edge. We need to route another groove along the back edge to hold the back piece. I have the same 3/4 inch straight bit mounted in the router table, and I got it 1/4 inch high and then 1/4 inch back from the fence, and that is going to give me a dado instead of a rabbet. So now we have the dado for our back piece. Now we need to cut that back piece to fit in there. This piece is not going to get glued in. It's just going to float in there to allow for expansion and contraction. And there's little rubber balls that you can get to keep that center and to keep it from rattling. We are going to use earplugs. Now this piece is smaller than the opening to allow for expansion and contraction. One in there, one in there. The glue's dry, we got the clamps off. Now we're going to reinforce these joints with long plugs. And I'm going to use this plug cutter here. The reason we're going to use plugs instead of dowels, if I was using a dowel, I'm going to get end grain on the top. So if we have long grain on the top, I can match the grain direction when I pound that in there. That is long enough. It is actually going into the other piece there. And we'll do the same thing with the other side. So now we're going to make the drawer for this guy. The front of it is going to be made out of a contrasting wood, so we're going to use walnut, which is going to match our plugs. The very first thing I need to do is make the front and back, which is going to be just slightly smaller than the opening here. Now we're going to make the rabbets on the front and back pieces. Just like before, we're going to do it at the router table. I'm going to do it in 2 passes this time because this hickory is really tough. And because it's on the end, I need a sacrificial board on the other side here so I can run that through safely. We need to cut a groove in the bottom to hold a piece of plywood for the bottom. So this is going to go in there. I'm not gluing in the plywood bottom, it's just going to free float. While that is drying, I'm going to take this piece and make a drawer pull. Once again, we're going to reinforce those holes, but this time with dowels. Let's see if this fits. While Dan is sanding that, I'm going to go weld a base and make some table legs. The construction's basically done, but I'm not getting quite the shadow line that I want to separate the two pieces. So I'm going to take this over to the router and just do a tiny little round over. And I'll just let that sit and dry. So we got this flipped upside down. The base is now painted, and we're just going to attach it with some screws. I'm going to use this center self-centering drill bit. Probably not necessary for this. More necessary if you're doing hinges and stuff, but hey, why not? It finds the center of the hole, and it's spring loaded, and so the little drill bit pops out of there. So now that we have the holes drilled, we're going to put in the driver. I love that. There we go. This is heavy. I'm going to coat it with polyurethane. So I'm going to take the base back off. I know, right? And then put 3 or 4 finishes of polyurethane. One finish a day, let it cure for 24 hours, and then another finish. So now I'm just wiping off the excess before it dries, just so there's nothing pooling on the top, and then it'll go on nice and thin. I'd like to tell you about today's sponsor, and that is Make It Snappy Tools. I've been using them in almost every single project over the past year, and they have this awesome new deluxe tool book, Maker Edition kit. Check this out. This is by far my favorite feature of the kit, is the quick change bits on there. You can even do it one-handed, which comes in really handy when you're in those tight spots. I love this chuck. It has these countersinks, tapered plug cutters, drill bit adapters, industrial driver bits, flat bottom counter bores, self-centering hinge bits, the quick change chuck, and the rotating depth stop. This is a really cool kit. It is $50 off until June 16th. I use a lot of drywall screws when assembling my projects, and these bits are great because it has a little countersink on there, so the head of the screw goes underneath the surface, all with one drill operation. In this particular project, we used these plug cutters, which came in really handy to make those plugs right there. And these right here leave a flat bottom, which go handy with the plug cutters. And then if you ever try to install hinges, your screw holes have to be perfect, and that's where the spring action self-centering hinge bits come in really handy. What a beautiful set. You're gonna see this in a lot of upcoming videos because I use it in nearly every project. Can't say enough good things about it. There'll be a link down below to check them out. If you do purchase this kit or any Snappy product, let me know in the comments down below, or tag me on Twitter and Instagram, because I'd love to hear your experience and if you love it as much as I do. Thank you, Make It Snappy Tools, for making this project possible. Now I'm going to show you how I'm going to use this desk. It's actually going to live on my porch, which is why we finished it with polyurethane. I wanted a place to take my laptop and set it on here and work out when it's really nice outside. I will have plans for this on my website at makesomething.com. The plans are going to include 2 versions, the metal base and legs, and also a wooden version of this. I like the metal because I like the top heaviness of the look here and keeps the bottom nice and light. This was the first metalworking project that I've done here at my home and not with a class, and I think it came out really good. I did not get into the details of welding and cutting because I got a future video coming up on getting started with welding. That video is going to be geared towards people who know nothing about metalwork and nothing about welding, and I can share my experience and all the things that I learned as I'm getting into it. If you live in the Toledo area, I'm having a meetup at my favorite hardwood dealer, KenCraft, on June 8th, 2019. There's a lot of other activities going on. Link down in the description to check that out. That wraps it up. Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys next week with a brand new video. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and also hit that notification bell so you get notified when new videos come out. As always, what do we say, Dan?
Be safe, have fun, stay passionate.
Oh, yeah. As always, be safe, have fun, stay passionate, and make something.